Well, welcome to A&P. We're going to do a little bit of an introduction into the navigation of the new website. We moved from a forum-based platform to a content management system. So what you'll see mostly is the content tab, but there are forums that are available for communications purposes. For now, let's take a quick look at some of the resources, and then we'll do additional videos in the future to highlight some of the other functions that we can use. Okay, we are at the home page, and when you're looking at this big window on the upper left portion of the web page, that's a featured article. And then underneath these three are also featured articles. Those articles will change based upon the time in the semester we are, and they will be relevant to the topics at hand. For now, let's go up to the main menu bar and move the mouse into the resources menu. And this basically has just about everything that you need to have in order to gain access to the resources. I'm not going to look at most of these things, but I'll point at them quickly and explain a little bit. Here under exam preparation, you can see something new, brand new, that's called an Exam 1 Learning Path. And that's going to help you get organized for preparing for the exams. We'll have exam learning paths for virtually all of the exams. Right now, just the first one is there. And then you can see all of the exam tips. I'm going to go ahead and go into that one. And here we have 5 exams for the course of the semester, and here are the tips for all of the individual 5s. And if you go into any one of those exam tips, it gives you some hints about how to study, how to prepare for the exam, and how to focus your energy so that you're most efficient with what you do. If you want to go back to the exam tips, this blue box here is the category link, and that takes you right back to the tips section. I'm going to go back up to resources, exam preparation, and then look at all of the study guides. The study guides are much the same as the exam tips. However, this is a guided pathway through the notes. So when you're looking at the items here, item 1, for instance, define anatomy and physiology, this is something that you'll experience in the very first lecture. Be able to recognize the different divisions of study. And as you go through the course materials, then you'll look at these items, and then you'll ask yourself the question, do I know this content yet, or do I not know it? And then you can focus your energy so that you're most efficient with how you prepare for your exams. There is also a feature called a printer-friendly version. If you press that button, then up in a new window pops up the same content that you saw in the previous one, and this is actually allows you to print it without all of the web page materials. So if we go back up into the resources, again exam prep, and these I won't go through. PDF exams, these are actual old A&P exams that you can print off. Old practice exams are a flash-based tutorial. Old exams again from A&P, but these ones allow you to press the buttons to take the exam, and it gives you feedback on your responses. And then once an exam has been completed, you'll go into the exam key section where you can print off your exam key and then correct your test yourself. If we move on into lab preparation, a big piece of the course is lab. And lab news, in this case 227 lab news, will go into that. If we take a look at the lab news, it will have the lab, what is going on in lab for each week that we have lab for the entire semester. And here you can see some more lab news items, and 3 pages of which each you can navigate to. And much like with the exam tips and study guides, you can click on any one of these articles, and then you can see this one in particular is getting started in lab. This one also has something called notebook construction guidelines, and I'm going to click that one and see how that goes. And here is how you plan your notebook. And again, you can do a printer-friendly version. It gives you a detailed listing of how you should construct your notebook. And at the bottom, you can even see the links for the 227 Histology Atlas, and for next semester, you'll be doing 228. If we click on that, then it takes us right to the article, and that tells you how to prepare for the Histology Atlas. And in fact, at the bottom is the list of all of the slides that you'll be looking at in lab this semester that you'll be responsible for. Alright, so let's go back up to resources, lab preparation. There are other things here that you can see, for instance the lab documents, And here is the blood vessel eval sheet. The muscle eval, the blood vessel eval will be for next semester. Muscle eval sheet you'll use this semester, and some other incidentals that are going to be useful for the lab. And to start things off, what you might do before you come to class the first time is go to the blank notes section, and then this actually links into our Google Drive, and then you can click any one of these chapter notes. And this is a blank set of the notes that the instructors use in class. They will be handwriting on these notes and projecting it on the screen in the classroom. And then because most of the notes are already pre-printed for you, you really don't have that much to write. You can jot into the margins anything that you like, and do take note of everything the instructors say. They don't always write everything down, but it is very important that you write down everything they say, because it often ends up on an exam. The other things that you might notice is the YouTube link here, the Google Drive link, where you see most of these documents already linked into our system. And then the OneNote section. The OneNote section I won't go into now, but these are the actual notes that the instructor uses in class and that you actually have access to. I will go to the YouTube channel and give you a little bit of a preview of that. This is the channel for both 227 and 228 and the ProSection class, and you'll be most interested in Biology 227 resources, where you can see the 227 current semester lecture videos, and these are actually left up there. They're last semester's videos, but we left them there so that you can see what they look like. Biology 227 Lab has many videos that illustrate so the processes that we deal with in lab. 227 Content Supplement, when we go through some of the more challenging physiology concepts, then you can actually see animations in activity. And then 227 chapter videos, complete chapter videos. I'm going to click that and show you by chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and through 28. You can actually hear and watch the video of lectures that occurred several years ago. So let's go back to our site and then continue on with resources. What you'll be interested also in is grading. By clicking this link, you'll be able to see your grades. A&P is graded on a curve, and this YouTube video called The Curve, quotes, is going to explain how the curve works in A&P. And then clicker bonus. If you plan on doing clicker bonus for the bonus points, which is a very worthwhile endeavor, there will be approximately 35 questions that count towards clicker bonus, which essentially means you can earn up to 39 points, I think it is, points during the course of the semester. And then on the right hand side are images. These are mostly designed for the ProSection class, but anyone can post here if you've got images of interest that you think might interest the students or the instructors, or things that are just for fun. Everyone has the ability to do their own images there. So now let's take a look at a very important feature called events. Here, this is actually the schedule of events for the entire semester, both lecture and lab, all exams, etc. Missed lab form and extra lab forms are here, as well as viewing by the month or by the week. Well, if you just click events, which is what I usually do, then it takes you right to the month view. And you notice that you'll see two primary colors here, greens and blues. Everything in blue or shaded blue is going to be a 227 event. For instance, this is a 227 lecture. And over here you'll notice that this is also blue, but a lighter shade. The lighter shade of blue implies that it is a lab event. Now, there's an awful lot to see here. What you can see is just by clicking the category, then it limits it to that particular type of an event. For instance, I just clicked 227 lecture, and this is all of the 227 lectures that occur in the month of January. And if you go by the week, then you'll see what we're doing this particular week. And you can go to next week, etc. Well, I'm going to go back to the month view and then look at all of the categories again. And this time choose 227 lab. And you notice that all the 227 labs for the spring semester occur on Thursday and Friday. So there are 2 labs on Thursday, 3 on Friday. The names are given here. So if you do ever miss a lab and you need to make up a lab, then you can find another lab in which to seat yourself. And in that event, all you need to do is complete the missed lab form. You also have the opportunity to do extra labs. I would recommend that you do not do much in the way of extra labs because it takes away from the main part of the class. Now, also of interest to most students will be when the exams occur. If we click 227 lecture exams, and again we're back in the month view, you'll notice that nothing is occurring in January. So let's move forward to February. And in February we can see that we've got exam 1 scheduled for 4 o'clock on Monday, and the other section is 1 o'clock on Tuesday. And then if we go to the year view by the year, then it shows you the entire list of all of the exams 1 through 6, when they occur, what times, what dates, etc. So the events calendar is a very powerful way to look at what we're going to be doing in both the lecture and the lab class. And all that you see down here you can search for. For instance, the lab practical is going to occur towards the end of the semester. You don't have access to the 228 lecture exams because that would just be a little bit overwhelming. The other thing in the main menu is a profile. So you can go to your profile, make changes to your profile, add an avatar called a portrait, or a background called a canvas. You do have a personal message inbox. If you go here, then you can compose a message to anyone in the class. You can show the users here, and then you can pick out the users from the box. And that way you can keep in communication with some of your classmates. I'm going to go back to the home, and notice here in the right-hand side, this week in A&P. All right, today's events, January 9th was a 227 lecture, and 10th, that's tomorrow's events. You can see that there's going to be a lab, but notice that the lab is in green. Green labs imply that it's a 228 lab. In fact, the color schemes, what you see here, anywhere in the events categories types of things. If it's a green or a shade of green, it is a 228 event. If it's a blue one, then it's a 227 event. So if you go tomorrow, there's no 227 labs here. Wednesday, also no 227, but you can see lecture is there because in blue you don't see the 228 lectures. Here, notice the flask is now blue. That means that we've got labs that occur on Friday the 13th. There's 3 of them, and it gives you the time again. This is really no different than going into the events. However, it makes it useful to be able to see it in one easy snapshot. When you come to the website, then you can see the entire week's schedule of events. And again, here, these are the same tags for the categories that we saw in the events section. If you wanted to see when the 227 lectures were, this would take you there. Now, under category tags, this is a very powerful feature to find just about anything that you want to find in the class. Let's take example to the 227 lab materials. If we click on 227 lab, then it takes us to any article that is in the system that is related to 227 lab. For instance, 227 lab news is available here, and that takes us to the complete section of listings of the 227 lab news. If we take a look at some of the others, here's the histology atlas that we looked at briefly a little bit earlier, bone eval advice, muscle dissection advice, the eval advice, and how to prepare your lab notebook. So again, very powerful, very quick way to find just about any of the content that you like. And if you're looking at 227 lecture, for instance, then you can see what is tagged with a 227 lecture for grades, practice exams, the study guides, the blank notes, the OneNotes, and here's a video of sarcomere contraction. Now, at the bottom of the page here on the right-hand side, you'll see the announcements, and notice that you see several of them in green. When you look at those items in the forums, then the new message disappears, and it's something that you've seen. Announcement is something that only the instructors post. In 227, anyone in 227 or 228 or pro section can post there. So you can post your questions there, and either a classmate in 227 or a 228 classmate, a pro section student, or one of the instructors will be getting back to you with an answer to what you have questions to. Always try and communicate as much as you can. We have seen in the past that the most successful students are the ones that communicate the best. I'm going to click on this forum link here because that'll take us right into the heart of the forum. And here are those announcements that we looked at. General announcements I'll look at briefly. And here is something about the blank notes and chapters 1 and 2. I'm going to go back to the index, and you can see that 227 has some posts in it, and 228 has some posts in it. So it's very useful to be able to see what students are talking about. Let's take a look at 227 briefly. And here are a listing of the posts, and you can see again there's 4 new posts in this one, 1 new there, etc. And if you take a look in the upper right hand side, this is how you will either set your online status, go back to your private messages, set your preferences, mark all of them red. And I'm going to go ahead and mark them all red. If you do that, then all of the posts now you have red in whichever forum you're located in. Alright, going back to the home page. At the very bottom of the page is your profile, where you can get a link to edit your profile. One thing to note, that this entire site is called responsive. And what that means is that you can be looking at this site on your iPad or cell phone, and it readjusts how it looks so that it fits your device. Everything is readable, everything is reorganized. It's not the tiny little images like you'd see in a standard site. So the responsive design is another big reason why we went to this, since many people use devices now. The one thing is, with your device on a phone, you won't see the resources menu like this. You'll simply see it as a listing of different items that are in there. One of those that you won't see is this one down below with the off-site resources. If you take a look at the 3 little marks, the 3 little horizontal lines on the left, this is the menu for your device. When you have your device loaded with this website, click that little button there, and then up comes the resources link on the left hand side. It goes away when you click it again, or if you go into one of the things. Well, that's about all for this brief introduction, and we will be doing more in-depth videos on some of the individual features so that you can make full use of the A&P website. Well, that's all for now.